All right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smark podcast. I don't want to waste a lot of time with the opening theme song, guys. I want to jump straight into it. I got Robert, the Frozen Asian. I got Vlad, the wrestling expert. My two mainstays on this show, my main wrestling analysts. And we've been doing this show, I guess this is episode 143. All right. So we've been doing a lot of modern reviews on this show, guys, recently. And we had been covering WCW from 1996 for a good chunk of it, and once we stopped doing that, we haven't done any modern wrestling or classic wrestling, excuse me. But I want to get back into it. So today's show, we're going to have a different format. We're going to try to run through the modern stuff in the first 30 minutes of the show, and hopefully we'll have time to do a classic Raw review afterwards. All right. So let's get down to it. I want to start with Monday Night Raw. From this past Monday, it was the big Netflix show, the Raw debut on Netflix. For me, it was just another Raw. Okay, I don't really care that it was on Netflix. I don't care where it is. As we see on Robert's background, it was a big deal to all these people. I even have the beginning of Raw up, and the first second of it, they actually had a Netflix logo. By the way, I'm going to put 10 minutes on the clock for Raw. Okay, so once we're done with 10 minutes, we can't talk about Raw anymore. We got to move on. All right, so you guys see the clock down here in the corner. But let me take Okada's face off. I'm sorry. I didn't even show you guys that here's the Netflix logo I speak of. Sorry, I mentioned it. So yeah, they never had USA's logo on the opening. They're never talking about every 5 seconds like, oh, we're so glad to be on USA, we're on cable, wow. Like, no, but Netflix gets all, all the accolades and all the praise, whatever. I'm taking this off. So main points. Here's like 4 main points that I had takeaways from this show that I want to get comments from you guys on. So Roman Reigns beat Solo in Tribal Combat. And The Rock, who we expected to continue a feud with Cody Rhodes that they teased last year, looks like they're going to forget about it, and he's turned face. And then some other matches that were important. Rhea Ripley won the world title from Liv Morgan. CM Punk beat Seth Rollins in a grudge match, and then Hulk Hogan was there and he got booed. But anyways, I want to defer to my experts here. So, Vlad, be wary of the clock. Leave some time.
Where's the clock? Where can I see the clock?
The clock is at the bottom right here. At the bottom right of the screen. See it?
It should show like 8 minutes and 34 seconds right now.
Yeah, there it is. You don't see it, Vlad?
No, hold on. Let me change my view. Maybe that's why.
You don't see this. You don't see the screen.
No, I don't see a clock.
Oh,
hold on.
I'm sharing it with you. It's over here on the bottom right.
Yeah, bottom right.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry. Got it. See it.
All right. Well, thanks for wasting a chunk of our time, but it's okay. All right. So any of these 4 topics, Vlad, that I have over here, or anything else from Raw, really, that you think might have been important that you want to talk about. So here's your time to go. Monday Night Raw, Netflix. Vlad, the wrestling expert. Let's hear some thoughts.
All right. This obviously has to cover a lot of ground, so I'll try to be as precise as possible. Roman beating Solo, Tribal Combat, was kind of predictable, but we were hoping for something different. I think booking-wise, we were hoping for something more interesting, where maybe somehow Solo wins, and then that furthers that. But it looks like they've completely want to close the books on that. He's running he's now the main man. He's got the Ula Fala. So that's all taken care of. I guess the only question is, what did they do with Solo? Because how does somebody recover from something like that? I don't know what he has to go down to the mid card, I think, because if he's not feuding with Roman, he's gonna have to be feuding with guys like LA Knight, which is fine, I guess, potentially, maybe. I don't know. I think you have to move him to the mid card. I don't think Solo's the big issue, but because it is what it is.
By the way, let me interrupt you for a second. So I do have our Raw review completely in the links to the description, the links in the description below. So we have all reviewed this. But I think another main point, Vlad, that I want to get your opinion on before I jump to Robert is The Rock. Like you said, you were expecting something different. Some people were expecting, well, not even a heel turn. He was a heel last time we saw him. And he was talking about, he hated Cody. He was trying to get Cody to not finish his story, and then he said, I promise to try to go after that title that you got around your shoulder." And then it seems like they just forgot all about it. So let's hear your thoughts on that before I get Robert's thoughts on it.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of that, to be honest. I'm hoping that it's a swerve that comes down the line, unless The Rock. The only reason it wouldn't be is if The Rock's just not going to be at WrestleMania and he's just not going to be able to be there for them. I don't understand how that's possible because, like I said, he's now a board of directors. So, make time. I don't know, make time. You actually have a stake in the company, so make time. They're paying you quite a bit of money to do what you're supposed to be doing. So be there at WrestleMania. But, okay, if he's not, then, that's the only explanation for it. But otherwise, it has to be a swerve. So it's either one or the other. He's not going to be at WrestleMania. He's not going to make it. He's going to be doing a movie or God knows what. Or it's a swerve. So we'll see. But otherwise, it made no sense. He can't be a face after being a heel. He can't be good with Roman, and he can't be good with Cody. He can't be hugging on Cody. I'm sorry. No. He literally tried to cost him the title last time we saw him. So how can he just be hugging on him? How can he be hugging him?
Hold on, Vlad. Before I give my opinion, let me jump to Robert. So, Robert, I do have our reviews on here for the Roman Reigns Tribal Combat match. This is what we gave it. It's on our Raw review on our review posts, and you gave it a half thumbs up. Vlad gave it a thumbs up still, even though The Rock, didn't do anything, and Roman just won a predictable match. And I gave it a vomit rating, -5 points. I hated it. Okay. And then these are our comments. So if anyone wants to read through our whole review of Raw, it's in the description below. But Robert, let me go to you. So The Rock and then the Tribal Combat match. Let's hear some comments.
All right, so not just for this match, but it's for a couple of other segments on Raw too. I just felt like in general, WWE played it really safe and didn't take chances, right?
But they've been doing that a lot lately.
Right. But since we're talking about the Roman and versus Solo, I can't say it's really a surprise that Roman won. What's more surprising was that Rock didn't turn on him. I thought it was going to happen. Now, again, it could still happen later. I mean, there's still time leading up to WrestleMania, so who knows? Maybe if Roman doesn't win Royal Rumble, I guess that's a spoiler alert, but for SmackDown. But if Roman doesn't win the Royal Rumble, then maybe The Rock turns on him there. I don't know, but it could still happen, is what I'm trying to say. So maybe they're saving that for later. I just thought it was going to happen on Raw.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm hearing all kinds of things too, like Vlad, how you said maybe there's a conflict of schedules in some movie or something, and now he can't wrestle, and that
would be the only
their
explanation.
Plans, or they just change their mind. It could just be like, you know what, we don't want to do this anymore. It's okay, I guess. I don't know.
I also want to make one point. I just want to point one thing out as far as the booking goes for overall on Raw. See, okay, I think the booking strategy was not for the sickos, as Tony Khan would say. It's not for the guys, the people like us that watch the shows regularly. I think they were trying to get some casuals that were being on Netflix, and I think the whole thing was okay, let's just get the guys that we want over in these matches, even if it doesn't completely make all the sense in the world. Let's just do that and get all the stars, as many stars as we can, notable names from the past, currently, onto the show. It was a big deal for them. I know it was just another Raw to you, Karen, but it was a big deal for them. They presented this as this was their kind of a WrestleMania because the production value was unbelievable on this show. Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was tremendous. It was like a Super Bowl. It was like their Super Bowl, even though it wasn't WrestleMania. So they put a lot into the show as far as production-wise. So I think they were trying to get some of those casual fans, and as like I said, not the sickos, as Tony Khan would say. So I'll leave it at that. I mean, booking-wise, I have some questions on it, but I think it'll work itself out. I trust Triple H I trust him. I think he knows what he's doing. The company is going in the right direction. But, we'll just have to see how it plays out. But, yeah, obviously I have some questions, as I wrote in the comments, but I think it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
All right. Well, other results, Rhea Ripley also won the women's world title from Liv Morgan, closed the book on that feud, so it seems. And then we had a weird match where CM Punk and Seth Rollins had a clean finish, and CM Punk won. He beat Seth Rollins.
I mean, okay, real quick, I'll let Robert finish. To me on this one, I mean, I would have had Rollins win somehow, because then the feud could continue. Here, I don't know where you go from here. I mean, unless they just don't want this feud, like they don't want it to continue. I don't know, but I'll leave it at that. I don't know the direction of these two.
I was confused by that too. I thought there should have been some kind of questionable.
No, I mean Rollins should have won. Rollins should have won. That's what it should have been, because otherwise, unless they don't, like I said, unless they're not continuing the feud. But if they're continuing it, then he should have won. But
all right. Well, Robert, do you have any comments on any of these two things, or anything else on Raw that you might have thought of?
Nothing else to add from what Vlad mentioned. But I wanted to say, I was disappointed that Drew lost. Drew McIntyre.
Oh yeah,
that really sucked.
Okay, that's booking. That's booking malfeasance for sure. Oh, and okay, Hogan getting booed was hilarious, fantastic. And one of the most tremendous moments. It was just the most awkward, mesmerized as was going on, because he was there talking about his real American beer and then just booing the shit out of him, dude. I mean, it was unbelievable. But
he called the fans his best tag team partner, and they're still booing him.
Yeah, they're booing him. No matter what he said, they were booing him. He mentioned all the people that were popular, Andre the Giant, Hogan. He even mentioned Netflix, LA. He was saying everything that you would think they would get cheered, and no matter what he said, they were booing. Personally, people are talking about why it happened, why he's getting booed. I mean, it's a liberal city, LA. Obviously, we live here, we know that, and he's a Republican, very Republican, right? So I think it really is a political thing. I don't think it has anything to do with people saying the lies he told. That doesn't matter. He's been telling lies for 20, 30 years. Nobody's cared until then. And that he used the N-word in a video. Dude, he's been back since then and gotten cheered. And nobody cares about that either. It's all about
this
politics.
Is from the Trump rally.
Yeah, it's only that. It's only that. It's a liberal city, and he was in the Trump rally, and that's the only thing. And he's a conservative, the Trumper. Fine. I don't have any problem with, but I don't know why the WWE put him out there. What was even the point? Hogan, he looked awful. First of all, he looked crippled. So I don't even know why he was out there. It was ridiculous. I know they couldn't put anybody else in that spot.
He was selling some beer, and they must have gotten some money.
Okay, I don't know. It just seemed like they could put any other major legend that they had, instead of Hogan. Anybody else would have been cheered. Anybody else probably would have been cheered.
Yeah, I guess Hogan could still come by in different towns, maybe not LA, but anyway.
Yeah, he's gotta go to the red states. Wherever the red states are, that's where he's gotta go. Yeah,
we got to move on from Raw unless anybody has anything else to say. I don't know why The Undertaker went in. He saw Liv Morgan against Rhea Ripley, and he was compelled to enter and say something. But okay.
And he got cheered, and he actually is also a Trump.
A Republican.
Yeah. So, but he did get cheered. He did.
That doesn't make sense. But okay, I don't really care about the politics of it. Let's move along. So I'm going to put, let's see, I'll put 7 minutes on the clock for this one. For Robert, because Robert is our
This is Robert.
our traveling reporter. He was at New Year's Evil.
Yeah, he sure was.
At NXT show on Tuesday, but I think it was on January 7th.
Yeah.
But there was actually a show on New Year's Eve, an NXT show on December 31st. I feel like that should have been called New Year's Eve.
Yeah. I don't know why they called it this.
Why is it January 7th? That would have made more sense.
Yeah.
But anyways, so let me pull up some pictures, and I'm going to ask you some questions about some things that you thought of this show. Okay. The Rock was there, obviously. With he had a segment with Ethan Page. But before that, I want to ask you about The Rock's promo that he cut at the end of the show, which kind of... Yeah, it kind of talked about what we talked about the night before, about how he's kind of not being the heel that's against Cody, and fans were complaining about that. And he told the fans, to just know your role and shut your mouth, right? And that's it. I guess he just basically had a comment towards the fans that were talking shit about him. What did you think of that promo? Were you electrified with The Rock being there and this promo ended the show?
Yes. I mean, I'm a big Rock fan, so of course I was excited to see him there. When I bought the ticket, it wasn't announced that he was going to be there. He didn't announce it until the night before, so it wasn't part of the plan to see him. He just happened to show up. So before he said to the fans to know their roles and shut their mouths, he did mention last year he was told, not to be mean to Cody, and now this year he's being told not to be nice to Cody. That's how he tried to spin it in a kind of a comedic way. Right. I thought that was hilarious. Now it doesn't explain why he's being nice to Cody, but that was still his way of trying to address it.
Hey, Robert, I was trying to tell Vlad, because Vlad's like, it doesn't make sense why The Rock has returned as a heel, but I was trying to make sense out of it. Isn't Roman cool with Cody now? So shouldn't The Rock be cool with Cody? Like, The Rock has since teamed with Cody.
Okay, you know what? I didn't think of that, but you're right. That does make sense.
I know. It's kind of obvious,
but okay, but at least we saw that interaction between Roman and Cody where they kind of like not became friends, but they decided to kind of call a truce temporarily. But we never saw an interaction between Rock and Cody and how all of a sudden they're cool with each other. So it was still a bit off-putting to see. But I did enjoy.
What about the other segment with Rock and Ethan Page and Ava?
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, well, I was very impressed actually with the Javon Evans video package where he actually cut a promo with his mouth wired shut because Ethan Page broke his jaw. So he's doing this promo. He's like,
everybody in the audience was laughing because it was hilarious.
I know, but that's a very daring angle to run. I'm very impressed that they took a chance on it. So then Ava was telling Ethan Page as Vlad shakes his head, but Ava was telling Ethan Page that he did a bad thing, and Ethan Page was like, you know what? That's the only thing anyone's talking about. So he was kind of talking back to her, and that's when The Rock came in. So this was interesting to me because this is the first time everybody knows Ava got this job because she's The Rock's daughter. Like, they never explained that on the show.
Why else would she be here?
So he comes in and he tells Ethan Page, you got to respect her because, obviously, right? And Ethan Page, from what I hear, is a big fan of The Rock. And although he was a heel, he was very respectful here and nothing happened. But it was a good segment, I thought.
Right. So, and I do want to point out one thing that happened in this segment. The Rock did mention at some point to Ethan Page, see you on the main roster soon. So I guess that's a hint that one of these days Ethan Page is going to be either on Raw or SmackDown.
If it's a promotion, he deserves it. Ethan Page is a talent.
Absolutely.
And I do think he's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so on your review, which is on our YouTube posts and in the links in the description below of our NXT review, Robert did mention that since he was there, his review might feel a little different than his normal reviews. What does that mean? That you were kind of
because when you're there, when you're there live, it's a completely different energy, completely different vibe.
That's true.
Especially on an NXT show, because someone can go to a Raw or a pay-per-view live and may not necessarily be a diehard fan. You could be a casual, but if you go to an NXT show, you're not a casual. So I'm surrounded by people like us. You know what I'm saying?
No wrestling. Yeah,
exactly. So like there's a lot of inside jokes that you can hear people saying all around me. So like only people like us would get it because we talk about it all the time. So it's a very completely different vibe, very different energy when you're there live. And then I'm not listening to commentary, right? So I'm really focusing on the physical performance aspect. I'm not being influenced at all by anything that the commentator is saying. So that's what I mean by that.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right, so comment on, if you can, Julia's match and I guess also the Oba Femi match. So
Okay.
we'll do the Julia one first.
Julia versus Roxanne. That's the match I paid the ticket for, and it did deliver, so that was good. I don't know. Well, I have less than a minute. I don't know Julia's ceiling because she's not fluent in English, so she might her ceiling might just be like Io Sky's or Asuka's. I don't know, but she has a good look and she's good in ring, so we'll see. And then Oba Femi.
Eddie Thorpe was the boy who cried wolf, where he actually
Right.
got attacked this time, but Ava didn't
actually got
believe him.
attacked.
And then Oba Femi ended up winning in a match that was the booking was a little cluttery at the end. I think somebody got nailed with the belt, and I think what's his name? Trick got nailed with the belt by Eddie Thorpe, and that was his out. So Oba Femi wins. So did you feel this great? Did you feel like you were there for such an important occasion for the introduction of the Julia and Oba Femi era of NXT?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are 2 championship changes, and The Rock showed up. I mean, which was unexpected for me, so that was cool. It was cool to experience that live, and it's much closer to me than the Intuit Dome, so it's more convenient too. So that played a factor in me showing up as well. So
Cool.
yeah, it was cool.
I think you gave a 2 thumbs up to the Lexis King.
Yes, so
Charlie Dempsey match.
Yeah, I'll add this comment. So Julia versus Roxanne, that was the match I bought the ticket for, but this was to me the best match of the night. Lexis King versus man, I forgot his name already.
Charlie Dempsey.
Charlie Dempsey.
It's William Regal's son. All right, well, we're out of time.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, obviously that's why Regal's involved with this storyline. But all right, so that'll be all for our NXT review. If you want a comprehensive review, I put a link in the description. We've covered every storyline, thumbs up, thumbs down. Me and Robert did a review, so you could go to the description and find a link to that. But I'm going to move on. I'm going to take this off, and I think we're going to give a few minutes to SmackDown. So this past Friday, which was a 3-hour SmackDown. Once again, our review is in the description below, so we have a comprehensive review for every storyline, but we're not going to do all that now. I'm just going to give this 5 minutes. And major points. I only have one major point that I took away. It was a 3-hour show, which I hate. Honestly, I'm going to rip on SmackDown because, God, it's so sad now that it's turned into the old Raw, where it's hard to get through, man. Like, I used to run through SmackDown, like, quickly, and then I'd get it out the way. Now it's like I can't even finish it, and I gotta try it again the next day, and the next day, and maybe But
you wanted it to be 3 hours, man. You were like, that's cool, 3 hours.
Well, I thought they would add more stuff. Like, why are they sending girls down to NXT? Like, why is Unholy Union going down to NXT? These are people they should be using in storylines. Like, make more storylines, not keep the same 2 hours of storylines and stretch it out into 3 hours by going really super slow. Sorry, but they fucked up the show. Everyone is saying WWE's on such a high run and they're making money off Netflix. This is a criticism. SmackDown sucks now, okay? I'm sorry. It's a boring shit show, and I'm just like struggling to get through it. But anyways, the only thing I could take away from this day's SmackDown was that Solo wasn't there. He had just lost on Monday, the Tribal Combat. And Vlad, how would you describe this? Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga continue the battle with Cody without Solo, right? That's the best I could explain it. All right, so let me pull up, I guess, a couple of pictures while I get comments from Vlad. But here's Jacob and Tama Tonga. So they showed up. They're not loyal to Solo. They didn't really mention Solo, but they continued the same exact fight that they were doing with Cody and everything. So they had a moment where they cornered Paul Heyman and Cody came in, and Cody and Heyman are all chummy and everything. But anyways, so what did you think of this? I'll start with you, Vlad. So no Solo. They didn't address that situation at all. They just punted the ball down the field. Right? I guess we'll find out later.
Yeah, I mean, they'll address it. He's back next week. I don't think that's a big deal. I thought the opening segment was really good. I thought the stuff when Nakamura and LA Knight had their match, and then they interfered, and then Fatu.
You can't say the bloodline anymore. I guess Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga.
I think that they have to be a different group now. They're just going to call them by their names. When they interfered, I thought that was really great. And then they obviously had the match at the end where I believe they won, right? Oh, yeah, they won.
Yes, they won.
Cody went off,
fought off with
Kevin Owens, right?
Kevin Owens, yeah.
Kevin Owens.
This is a picture of.
I've been critical of Kevin Owens previously, but I think he's now. This feud has really heated up pretty well. Like, it's going really great. So, I mean, yeah, there's still stuff in SmackDown that's really good. But, I think in your case, because you have to take notes on everything, it seems like a slog. I watch it only what I want to watch and what I care about, so I don't have to deal with what you're dealing with. Like, I'm not taking notes on every little match and every little moment because I know this is not going to be good. Like, I can see it as it's happening. This is a waste of my time. So I'm going to the stuff that I care about.
All right.
And the stuff that we thought was good. All right.
So you don't mind it. All right, Robert. Do you have any comments on the bloodline? They were called. I guess now they're no longer there. So you can comment on that. And another thing that happened was Tiffany Stratton's segment. I thought was interesting how she put herself over. That she said she had the plan the whole time to turn on Nia, and waited for her to drop her guard down. But okay, so those are the two angles that you can speak on, whichever one you think is more important. Whatever.
Sure, yeah, the Bloodline Cody angle I thought was pretty cool. The opening segment was nice. I don't think it's a big deal that Solo wasn't there. I mean, he had just lost a big match on Raw, so I didn't really mind it. The LA Knight Nakamura match was cool. I think Nakamura currently has the coolest entrance in all of wrestling, probably, in my opinion. But yeah, and then the last match between Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga versus Cody and Jimmy, that was okay. What else? Oh, the Tiffany Stratton thing. You know what's funny? Because she was delivering a heel promo, but she was still getting cheered. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, and then Nia came out and called her an ungrateful little shit.
Right. Yes. And Nia was getting booed. I don't know.
Well, I thought it was very interesting that Tiffany put herself over, that she said she had this plan to turn on Nia the whole time. I was like, well, okay, if that's true, you got to give it to her. What can I say?
What else could she say, though? I mean, what else?
Yeah. Oh, that was a brilliant plan, then, if that was really her plan.
Yeah, I'll say that. It was genius.
Well, and then I guess Bayley won a four-way that she's going to be the next number one contender. Yeah. All right. Well, unless anyone has anything else they want to say from SmackDown, I'm going to jump to AEW. But we're changing the format of this show because I want to include some classic clips. So we're going to cut down on the AEW because, unfortunately, man, everyone's been talking shit about AEW, saying the same thing, that they're just the booking's no good, Tony Khan needs to step down, this and that. Every podcast you hear, it's exactly the same. So we're going to keep AEW on the show, but I'm giving them 5 minutes. That's all I'm giving them, Robert. So everything from AEW. By the way, our Dynamite review, me, Vlad, and Roberts, I have posted in our YouTube post. Here's a link in the description below also. And we have reviewed every angle, thumbs up, thumbs down, and some comments. But as for today and on this show, I'll give us 5 minutes and some major talking points, I think. Kenny Omega's back. So he was saved by Will Ospreay, and they had like a face-off to end the show. And then we were wondering what was going to happen with MJF. So he had a segment with Jeff Jarrett, which I think surprised a lot of people. But anyways, I'm going to pull up some clips or some images for the background while Vlad and Robert comment. I'll start with Robert this time. So Robert, was there anything from Dynamite that you would want to comment on, either the topics that I gave or anything else, really?
Sure. I'll start with the Will Ospreay Kenny Omega thing.
Okay.
I laughed really hard when Kenny Omega started going after Don Callis while Don Callis was still trying to like talk. I thought that was
Yes,
hilarious.
that was hilarious. I wrote that in my comments too. I like that a lot. That was good.
Okay, and then it looks like there's gonna be a team up with Osprey and Kenny Omega, which, yes, they are rivals, but this still makes sense in the fact that they both have beef with Don Callis. So this isn't just coming out of left field. It does make sense. They both have legitimate issues with Don Callis.
Yep.
So that was cool. And then was it
MJF and Double J? Yeah, are you excited for a MJF Double J feud?
No. No,
I know. I'm the biggest Jeff Jarrett fan too, and
Look,
I
man,
even commented.
I know you're a big Jeff Jarrett fan, but
I know, but even I think this is beneath MJF at this point in his career, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was still a nice segment, I thought, but it's probably not what they should be doing with MJF. Let's jump to Vlad. Vlad, you got comments on AEW. You only got 3 minutes to rip on them today.
It's all right. I'll start with the MJF, and that's all I need. It's fine. The Jeff Jarrett and MJF thing, I said last week after his promo that we showed, and I said, "Oh, that's a killer promo. Let's see what happens to him." And I guess he's working with Jeff Jarrett. I don't understand. I don't understand. Why is Jarrett all of a sudden featured? Losing every match. Prior to this, I don't understand why.
Well, this is the end of his career. If anyone wants to work with him, now's the time.
Nobody wants to work with him. Nobody fucking should be wanting to work with him.
Everybody wants to work with him. He's a legend, baby.
Wanting to work with this guy, I don't understand. Okay, but fine. I wish I wish MJF well a couple of years when he's in WWE, because that's his only saving grace, I think. Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention, the Omega Osprey thing, whatever, it was cool. It was all right. But I did want to mention something with Osprey, with his match with Brody King. I am so sick of every match having to be the same, like where he kicks. Was it with Brody King? No, it was with Billy, it was Matthews. I'm sorry.
Buddy Matthews.
Buddy Matthews. Yeah, sorry. Brody King was the previous couple of weeks ago or whatever. Every match has to be like a 5-star kick, everybody kicking out of everything. He takes an ass kicking, and then he wins the match. Not every match has to be that way. Not every match has to be he takes an ass kicking, just gets killed, and then still ends up winning the match. I hate his matches right now with such a passion. I don't even have the right words to describe. I'm so sick of this guy's matches. Every match is the same. He's doing the same stuff. He's always kicking out of everything, and then he ends up winning somehow.
All right, and that's a valid criticism.
And then he has the nerve to, without saying a single goddamn word he's saying, trying to give pointers to Buddy Matthews.
He's trying to give him a rub. He's trying to give him a rub, baby. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, okay. Well, I say this. Buddy Matthews has actually wrestled in a company where, where stuff makes sense and things are somewhat logical. This guy's wrestled in AEW and in New Japan. So I say he needs to, if anybody should be getting advice from anybody, Will Ospreay needs to be asking Buddy Matthews on stuff, not the other way around. I'm sorry.
I feel you. All right. Well, that's unfortunate because a lot of fans dig Will Ospreay, like his ability to do the moves. But you're saying
do the moves,
there's no psychology behind it.
There's nothing. Yeah. He has no idea what he's doing in these matches. All of them end up with him getting killed and then winning at the end by some miraculous fluke.
I don't mind him doing that, but you're right. Not every day, not on an opening match.
Every match is to be the same way. Every match. It doesn't matter if it's a pay-per-view or a Dynamite. Every match is the same. He has to go 20-plus minutes and okay, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Forget it.
All right. Well, that's enough AEW, unless Robert wants to say something in response to your criticism of Will Ospreay, because I know you're a fan of Will Ospreay and you enjoy his matches. Actually,
I do, and I didn't mind the match. I didn't mind the match, but I didn't mind the match, but that post match segment where he's trying to give pointers to Buddy Matthews felt very random. I was like, okay.
Well, it's because Malachi Black is gone, so Matthews is on his own. supposedly. He's not
Okay.
even in that group House of
Well,
Black
all right,
anymore. So,
at that point in time when we were watching this, I don't think that was revealed yet, right? Or was it?
no, but it's like
I didn't hear
in
about it until later.
AEW, people kind of know things. They're supposed to know what's going on
For
in
the
the
sickos.
But
the
okay,
sickos. We're supposed to have already known that. We're supposed to be
well,
on the
I didn't know that.
IWC and on
No,
Twitter.
you're only partly sick. That's why you're only half sick. That's okay. But all right.
All right. Well, all right. So that concludes our modern wrestling portion of the episode today. So I rushed that, which I think we got enough in on it, honestly, because sometimes, and I was talking to Vlad before the show started, Robert, that
Mhm.
we might give too much time to the modern wrestling because we don't know historically what these shows we're watching are going to mean. Like, I was thinking maybe we should wait 20 years and see if we will want to review these shows. You know what I mean? So we want to give a quick gloss over now of the modern shows, what happened this week, and then we want to go back and watch the classics and the stuff that really matter, I think, because those shows are just in people's hearts.
Okay.
So
Well, I will make one comment about the classic wrestling. Like I look back on it very, very fondly, right? Especially the Attitude Era. But then sometimes when I do try to watch those old episodes back in full, like from beginning to end, I do realize there's a lot of garbage there too.
Sure.
As time goes by, that all that just phases out, and I remember the stuff that I love.
Absolutely.
yeah, no, that's true. No, when we were reviewing WCW last year, there were some segments where I was like, Vlad, you know what? This is illogical. You know, this is something that I would criticize. I mean, overall, though, I think the feel of the shows were more genuine. I think people
Right.
really enjoyed them. But so, Robert, here's my plan. Okay, so we did WCW after Bash at the Beach. That's where we started when Hogan turned heel and NWO took off, right? So I want to start at around that time for WWF and catch up to where we were in WCW in November. So I've chosen a date. It's August 19th. So we've already reviewed the Monday Nitro from August 19th, 1996. So there's a link in the description. So we have done this show, so we're going to see what happened on WWF. This was the day where WCW set up their War Games team, and they had to align with Sting and Lex Luger and the Four Horsemen to face the NWO at War Games. There was the main event of this night on the other side was the Giant against the Macho Man, which was a match that we watched on this podcast. So Disco Inferno was there. Nick Patrick was the referee. Chris Benoit and Woman were having issues in the Four Horsemen. So these are some stuff that was happening on the other side. If you want to see our full review of that episode, I'll put a link in the description below. But we're going to do Monday Night Raw from that same day. So I have a list of storylines, and I'm going to go through some of them real quick and play some clips from this episode of Monday Night Raw. So let me pull up my TV and let's go to watch along mode. So I'm going to explain how this works for us when we do watch alongs. So on YouTube, we have a copyright issue. We can't put the show in the whole screen. So I have to put it real tiny in the corner, and you guys got to just zoom in. So just pinch out your finger like this. And if you want to zoom into that part of the screen, there you go. So that's just how we're gonna do watch-alongs on this show. So I want to watch this episode of Monday Night Raw. This is August 19th, 1996. All right, guys. So here is the intro. So you guys want to see what the show looked like back in the day?
Sure.
Here's the opening segment.
I remember this theme.
All right. Interesting stuff. So let me preface some things. I'll tell you guys a couple of things that were going on at this time. So there was two storylines that happened at SummerSlam the night before. So SummerSlam was the night before on Sunday, and this is Monday. So there was a match, a Boiler Room Brawl match between The Undertaker and Mankind.
Love that match.
Yeah, and that was the day that Paul Bearer turned on Undertaker. So Undertaker was going to win, and he was going to get the urn from Paul Bearer, and Paul Bearer didn't give it to him, and instead bashed him on the head with it, and Mankind took the urn, and now Mankind and Paul Bearer are aligned. And The Undertaker is supposedly dead or something, because some druid people came and took him away at SummerSlam after the match. So, and then the other thing that happened was the main event was Shawn Michaels against Vader, who was managed by our boy Jim Cornette, Vlad. And
Yes.
Vader had won the match, like, you know, one of those things where the referee was down and he pinned him. So Jim Cornette is going to say that, you know, my guy won the match, basically. So he thinks his guys got screwed. But anyways, I'm just going to let this run since we're getting our feet back wet against with this old stuff. I'm just going to play some of this. By the way, this show is only 1 hour. So without commercials, the whole thing weighs 42 minutes. So we could just watch the whole fucking episode, but I'm gonna skip some of it. But anyway, so here's how the show starts. The commentary team is Jim Ross, Jerry the King Lawler, and Kevin Kelly. Vlad.
What? Wow.
We are coming to you from Wheeling, West Virginia at the Wheeling Civic Center. Hello, everybody. I'm Kevin Kelly, and along with Jerry the King
Bulldog.
Jim Ross, we are set to go. What an awesome
And Jerry Lawler.
slam was.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get right into it tonight with the instant.
Kevin Kelly, who was recently fired from AEW. He was on a few episodes of Collision before he got let go.
First round match is going to start things off tonight, gentlemen. Brother-in-law against mother-in-law. I know Jim Cornette is beside himself as Davey Boy Smith is first in the ring.
So this is an Intercontinental title tournament. Look, it's like AEW, guys. So Ahmed Johnson was attacked by Farouk, and he's out. So
yes. Okay.
Ahmed Johnson, who was also going to get a world title shot, but they vacated his title, and they're having a tournament. So Owen and British Bulldog, they are brother-in-laws, and they're also both managed by Jim Cornette. So
they're tag team, right?
yeah. So but Cornette's not there, as you will see, because he's going to say it's too painful for me to watch my two guys fight against each other.
He is going to take on Davey Boy Smith. The British Bulldog will face his brother-in-law, Owen Hart. That's some kind of conspiracy by Gorilla Monsoon. That's not fair. Pitting Owen against the British Bulldog right here in the first round. No way is that fair. And listen, I know there's a lot of people out there that are just like me. You've been waiting a long time to see the World Wrestling Federation, Shawn Michaels, get squashed like a bug. Well, tonight, it's going to happen because Shawn is going to have to face...
All right, so Vlad, you can comment on the work. We'll watch some of them work for like a couple minutes.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this should be tremendous. These are two great workers, especially Owen Hart.
Yeah, you who just criticized the shit out of Will Ospreay's work.
There ain't gonna be none of that here. I can assure you. I'll be shocked.
All right.
I'll eat my tongue.
There must be a winner via pinfall. Look at this now. Can you believe it?
You guys feel free to talk over this, by the way. That's the point. This is our podcast. If anybody wants to... Oh, shit.
Great move. That was a great monkey flip. Great air.
Oh, my God. Look at that drop kick. He actually kicked him. Stiff. Looks stiff. So they look like they're actually trying to have a fight is what the big buzzword that, you know, guys like Jim Cornette would use, you know. It's got to look realistic. Like it's actually a fight. Like there's not a choreographed dance. It's just supposed to be a fight.
This is the very first match in the tournament to determine a new Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, but Ross, you know this is not fair. Why would Gorilla Monsoon pit the two best wrestlers against each other right off the bat? Well, that's just the way it works out, King. And here we go. The British Bulldog now stepping back in. Side headlock now applied to the Slammy Award-winning Owen Hart. Folks, it is going to be awesome here tonight on Raw. Unbelievable energy. Here's Wheeling. Big shoulder block. Over the top. Oh, still to come, folks, here tonight. It's going to be Shawn Michaels in a non-title matchup against Yokozuna. Can you believe it? Yeah, I can believe it. I've been waiting for a long time to see Shawn get his. He'll get it tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the final four Battle Royal. Psycho Sid, Fabio, Stone Cold, and Goldust will battle it out.
Oh, we'll see some Stone Cold later.
Against the WWE
Nice. Or should I say, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is an early Stone Cold before he got famous, so it'll be interesting to hear comments on how he cut promos and stuff. So we'll see a Stone Cold promo a little later on. All right, so an interesting thing is development is gonna happen in this match, as you'll see in a second. It will enter a third party, so I don't want to spoil it, but I'll let it play.
And we also know Shawn Michaels will face Yokozuna later on. Oh my! Irish whip and hard to the buckle. And down with a body slam. Lateral press. Could this be it?
Man, these guys look great, especially the British Bulldog, man.
Oh, yeah.
Steroids, Vlad, steroids.
For sure.
I'm
But
pretty sure, yeah.
that's not even that's not even a question. I think it was known. But
You know
yeah,
what?
he looked tremendous here, though.
You know what's an interesting thing? I was watching this with Haley, my girlfriend, and she noticed that there were no women matches on this show. I think that was something that disappointed her. Straight up sausage fest. Lots of men.
Yeah, well, there were very few women matches around this time.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, there weren't really there wasn't a women's division around this time. So yeah. Jerry Lawler's commentary is fantastic.
Okay, watch this, guys. This is the first tease, because you know how I told you the Undertaker was killed the night before. So watch the static on the screen.
We're getting a lot of static down here. My hands are tingling. This type of stuff, we've been having these types of experiences all day, ladies and gentlemen. Are we on? Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize.
So there's going to be a couple teases to show, like, you know what, the Undertaker's presence is still around. You know what I mean? So that was the first one. It was static on the screen. You know, people couldn't really hear. So anyways, I'm going to skip forward in some of this match. Here's where the interference comes in. It's not really interference, but Vlad, you know what this is?
That's time you said.
Sonny. So Sonny enters.
I think we all know who that is.
She's going to go to the commentary table, and she's going to explain why she's there. By the way, at this point, I think she's managing Farouk. So.
I'm not complaining.
I'm sorry I had to be here because of these two stud muffins in the ring. I had to still have the competition. And you know, they're both pretty talented, but I think they need a little bit of better managerial guidance than Jim Cornette. He's just not doing the job.
Well, you know, Cornette usually advises these guys. He's not at ringside for either one of them tonight.
He's not here for them. See, if I was their manager, I would be here all the way.
Well,
All my support.
we know where Cornette is.
She said Cornette's not being a good manager. He's not even here for these guys. She wants to take these two guys away. She needs some more clients.
Cornette standing by right now. Mr. Cornette, why aren't you out here?
This is like watching two of your kids fight. I didn't want to pick sides. I don't want to cause any more trouble. If this is proof that the WWF is against Camp Cornette, I don't know what does. Because first Vader beats Shawn Michaels not once, but twice in the same night and doesn't get the title and then doesn't get a rematch with Shawn in Philadelphia and in your house. Then Clarence Mason out there trying to slip in my back door, steal my talent. Now Gorilla Monsoon has brothers-in-law, family members fighting each other in this stupid tournament. And I heard what you said, Sonny, and I'm keeping my eye on you too. Camp Cornette's at a crossroads, and I'm trying to hold everything together. Come on, guys, don't hurt each other.
Well, I tell you what,
Shawn Michaels is going to be one thorn in the side today because I my 650-pounder is going to have Shawn Michaels out of the picture tonight on Raw.
What? What do you mean 650-pounder?
What do you mean I said 650-pounder?
Vader's gained that much weight since SummerSlam?
No, you idiot. I'm talking about Yokozuna. The 650-pound Yokozuna. I'm the one that took him to the top. He's never been anybody without me. And today,
Thank you very much, Mr. Cornette. We are seeing this show.
Oh man, Cornette is tremendous.
So Yokozuna used to be in a stable, and I guess this is the day he announced that Yokozuna is coming back to his stable. So he's going to manage Yokozuna in the main event against Shawn Michaels. So,
right.
All right.
He kicked him out of a stable before. So
Interesting.
I do remember that.
See, you might know more about it than me there. So, all right.
Supplied. The British Bulldog could be ready to submit. Scorpion Deathlock. I tell you something, this is a tremendous situation.
Interesting.
Shooter.
But he would.
Going hard.
Oh,
Tell you
right.
something. What
They call it the Scorpion Deathlock is a little
I
odd.
cannot believe that Jim Cornette and Yokozuna have.
That's because Jim Ross was in
Was in
WCW.
Exactly. I was about to say the same thing. He has a lot of the WCW experience.
Together, it'll be the end of Shawn Michaels.
And what is this bone for the match later on tonight? In an on-title matchup, Shawn Michaels later on tonight, ladies and gentlemen, here on Raw, will take on Shawn Michaels. Will go at it with Yokozuna. Oh, my.
Wow.
Oh, all the way out to the floor. Whoa.
That looked great.
Funny.
Don't know.
More even competition. If they had me as their manager, I would treat all my men fairly.
What does she want to do? Manage everybody?
You know, I can manage everyone, JR. And what's it to you? Huh, Fatso? You can forget it. You could never make it to the World Wrestling Federation.
Tell him about it.
You can put your bid in, JR, but it's not going to happen. I look to bigger and better things.
Wow. British Bulldog about
Hey,
to get...
King, what are you up to?
Jesus.
Wow.
Suplex. Outside. Onto the floor. For family members, these
All right, so this should be the end of the match. It's going to come next to Sunny. The whole thing's going to happen around Sunny. So,
Great match right here. Right in front of us.
oh, nice spin
Be
kick.
careful, be careful.
Swinging heel kick.
Look out, Sonny.
The referee is laying a... Ooh, my, right here at ringside.
Whoa! What a chop. The Bulldog falling right on everybody.
So British Bulldog falls on Sunny, and Sunny's all tripped out that the action's next to her.
Sonny, wait a minute, the bell sounded. Owen Hart got back into the ring. The British Bulldog is still down here.
Oh my God, they weren't paying attention to the and then Sunny throws a drink on Davey Boy Smith, and she's hiding behind King.
She didn't. I don't think she meant to. I think she did. I think she meant to do it. Yeah.
So it was a win by countout.
Win by
Yep,
countout.
Owen Hart wins by countout.
Man, referees back then must have counted a lot faster.
Yeah, at least in this match they did.
They were actually counting.
You can see them counting. That would be my only slight criticism.
He did not.
Oh, here comes Cornette.
You know what you did? He's the better man, and he won. He beat you fair and square. He's the better man, and I knew it all along.
What's the deal with you, huh?
What's the deal with you? What's the deal with your man getting his head under my dress?
First it's Myers Mason, now it's you. You little slut, what are you doing?
Well, he took the words right out of my mouth.
And he's the better man.
Owen Hart's won the match.
Owen Hart is victorious. Please, gentlemen.
He called her a little slut.
Cornette and Sonny
Nope.
serve each other.
He knows. I don't think anybody's
Hey, Robert.
deny that fact.
Huh.
You know Sonny's in jail right now, right?
I heard.
Yeah, okay. For the audience who doesn't know, yeah, she's had a string of DUIs, and on the last one, she killed an old man by accident. So, all right. So here's some reviews. This is Farouk, which is Sonny's guy, attacking Ahmed Johnson and taking him out. So he was supposed to be the next championship contender, title contender. So since he's out, I guess Farouk put him in the hospital somehow.
Yeah.
They're gonna
His
show.
kidneys or his ribs or something.
Yeah, here's Ahmed Johnson in the hospital. He's gonna get interviewed, but for some reason, I don't have the interview. Like, it gets cut off from my tape that I have.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know what Ahmed Johnson said. I don't have that clip. Here's but anyways, so the way they figured to handle this, I don't know why this happened. Maybe there's some kind of backstage story about why they canceled Ahmed Johnson's title shot. So he won that title shot because there was a battle royal, and he ended up winning. So I think the way they're doing it is they're gonna get out of the 5 guys, they're gonna get the last 4 guys who are in that match and have them do a 4-man battle royal. You guys get it? Should I explain that again?
Wait, in what match?
Yeah.
I thought they were having a tournament for the Intercontinental number 1.
No, that's his Intercontinental title, but for a title shot, for a WWF title shot.
Oh, okay, so there's a different title. Okay.
Yeah, so because he was gonna get a title shot because he won a battle royal.
he was
So
going to fight Shawn
instead-
Michaels.
Yes. So instead, they're going to get everybody who was in that battle royal, the last 4 guys other than Ahmed Johnson, and they're going to have
Got
a
it.
battle royal later
Yeah,
in the
no,
night. So
I
that's
got
going
it,
to
yeah.
be
Okay.
Sid, Stone Cold, Goldust, and Savio Vega. So that's what we got later on in the night. So, what do I got next? Mark Henry. Mark Henry's here signing autographs. So he was also there the night before on SummerSlam. The world's strongest man.
This is probably around his debut. I mean, it's probably like one of his first couple of appearances.
Yeah, totally. He hasn't had a match yet, but he's there signing autographs. While Vader's coming to the ring. Vader's coming to the ring with Jim Cornette, the guy that Jim Cornette should have been crowned the WWF champion the night before. And I think Vader's going to get into like a jaw-jacking contest with Mark Henry. But it doesn't really amount to anything. I don't know if this match happens someday or something, but
I don't think. I don't remember it, so I don't think so.
All right, so Vader's match is against what's his name? Freddie Joe Floyd. I don't know if you know that name.
No, he was he must be some random job guy. I don't know Freddie Joe Floyd. I definitely do not. He must have been some local job guy that they brought in. Sorry, enhancement talent.
Yeah.
I don't want the modern fans being pissed.
So we can listen to some of this for the podcast. Jim Cornette's on commentary talking up his guy, Vader. It's going to be a quick match.
More about Yokozuna. What's the situation here? The situation is Yokozuna realizes I'm the guy that took him to
This type of match was very common back in the day.
To eliminate Shawn.
Yes, they would have job
with enhancement talent.
Yeah.
Well, they have that nowadays too. Powerhouse Hobbs beat two fucking losers the other day.
That's true, but it's more. It was more common
Back then.
especially during this specific time where Raw was still 1 hour. I don't think they were.
Oh, here's the next. Here's the next Undertaker tease. Sorry to interrupt you, Vlad, but
yeah.
He didn't even get the title shot. Undertaker. You can't fade out now. What goes on? Can you still hear it?
So, some use of technology, Vlad, huh? To make it spooky, they put some static on the screen.
I wonder what the live audience is thinking. Like, they're like, "What the fuck?" I mean, because they're not telling them what the hell is going on. They don't hear the commentary, so they're probably thinking like, "What is going on with these lights? Are we having a power outage?"
There you go. Yeah, you see, it's happening again.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say. Go ahead, Robert.
It's the White Six. I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Sorry.
That's a win for Vader. That's a win for Vader. Sorry, I'm trying to commentate also for audio podcast listeners who might just be listening. But all right, so Vader wins the match and he throws his opponent out of the ring.
And Jose Lothario better watch out for Jim Cornette. Even Sonny, everybody. I think I can whip her. I got a good chance. Well, maybe. Please.
He thinks he can whip Sonny. I don't know. I thought this whole opening to the show with Sonny and Jim Cornette was pretty interesting. I think it's a good moment. I know Sonny has been disgraced in recent years, but she is a prominent figure in wrestling history.
But she wasn't completely disgraced at this time. So
yeah, at that time though.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would give all those thumbs up. I think the match between the opening match with Owen Hart and British Bulldog, I would give a thumbs up, and then even the squash match with Cornette talking.
No, not me.
I don't think I'd give that a thumbs up.
The Vader one, no.
Yeah,
maybe a half thumbs up.
The opening match, thumbs up. It's been higher, but as a TV match and the count out where they weren't, I didn't see anybody counting. It's kind of weird. They've had, obviously, those two guys have had way better matches, but. Yeah, it's still good. A thumbs up. The Vader thing was just I don't give thumbs up to job matches. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Even with Cornette talking in the background nonstop, it wasn't enough to give it a thumbs up.
All right, I'll give it a half thumbs up. You're right. I mean, I'll say I like something about it. I thought it was funny. Hey, the line about him, I think I could whip Sonny at the end. Come on, Vlad.
Well, yeah, of course. Cornette is hilarious, of course. That goes without saying.
All right, interesting stuff. We'll see a little more Cornette, I think, in the main event. But Interesting commercial here. So this is a WWF commercial. So let's see what you guys think of this one. And this was interesting, Vlad, in terms of what they want to portray themselves as, going up against WCW and them becoming cooler. So check this out.
Yeah.
Something wrong, officer?
License, please.
Sorry I was going fast. I'm a little late for a show.
So you're Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid?
In the flesh.
All right, out of the car.
The new WWF generation. More fun than the should allow.
Oh my God. Okay, so I got to describe that for someone who just might be listening to the podcast.
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels got pulled over, and it was a female cop, and she found out it was Shawn Michaels, and she dug him so hard, she kicked Shawn Michaels' girlfriend out of the car and went with Shawn Michaels. So that's how cool Shawn Michaels is. He'll pick up the female cops.
No problem. Yeah.
All right, Vlad, let's hear your comment on this.
No, I think they were
the new WWF generation, as it says.
Yeah, I mean, they were already the new generation, so I don't know what this means. But I think here, they're still not at the point where they are going to, competing with WCW. Because WCW hit gold with the NWO thing. And I don't think WWF, they're still figuring out how to respond to that, even in the show. What, this was August, you said? Yeah, August. So it was already, over 2 months since Hogan turned heel. Yeah, I still think they haven't figured out what they need to do yet. Once they go to 2 hours and things start to take shape in both shows, really start to get really good by 1997. But 1997 is my favorite year in wrestling. Still to this day, one of the best years in wrestling I've ever seen. Both companies.
Oh yeah, we're not there yet, but they're gearing up towards it.
They're gearing up, but they're not there yet. Especially with the corny commercial like this. This is cheesy as hell. This is like 1994, 1983 type of commercial that they would do. Still, good for the fans that were watching at the time, probably, but in retrospect, it is pretty cheesy, right? So I think we could admit to that.
Yes, and interesting to note that no Rock yet, nothing at all, and no,
not yet.
Not yet, and Stone Cold is also. There, but not quite the Stone Cold we know yet, as we'll see later on.
Yeah,
right,
he's
so
a big
if Robert wants to comment on that commercial before I move on.
Yeah. First off, about the WWF, I think they didn't really start taking the lead back on the Monday Night Wars until sometime around when Mike Tyson, when they started showing Mike Tyson.
98.
That's when Raw started really taking over again. But all right, back to this commercial though. It's really cheesy, but it gives me a lot of
nostalgia.
Not that '90s vibe. It's this type of commercial we always saw in the '90s.
That's right.
All right, so let me move on. This next segment, I want to play the whole thing, and then the end of the show, I might skip around a little bit. So, Paul Bearer is now aligned with Mankind. So, we have seen throughout the episode, they've been teasing somehow that The Undertaker is not dead, as we saw in SummerSlam, that, the lights have been flickering and the screen has been going into static. But Jim Ross is in the ring to interview Paul Bearer and Mankind. So,
right. Well, the one thing I want to say here before they do the talking is this was the Mankind that was really dark, though. When they introduced this character, it was a very dark kind of character. I know later he became more silly and more goofy, right?
Yes.
This is not that yet. This was a very serious, dark character.
Well, I know we're jumping into the middle of a feud with Mankind and Undertaker, and I'm planning on doing a video to maybe summarize some of what happened leading up to this. But for this episode and this show, I just want to jump into one episode. So just take this segment for what it is and however you see it in a bubble. But okay, so here's the interview. Jim Ross.
Mankind entering the boiler room. The Undertaker also entering the boiler room. Two men putting their bodies, their anatomies on the line, slamming off concrete walls, off concrete floors, putting it all on the line. And then finally, The Undertaker and Mankind come to the arena, in the gun arena. The Undertaker has the match won.
No way.
And when he reaches for the urn, you turn your back to him. And then later, you strike The Undertaker right in the head with the urn, the death sentence as it has been called. My question, Mr. Paul Bearer, is why destroy the legacy?
There it is.
That's where he struck The Undertaker. The images they're showing is like how we review the show on this show. We have to show pictures. But
Correct.
I guess they didn't want to show stuff that was on pay-per-view because they expected you to pay for it, so they're just showing pictures.
Especially at that time.
Mhm.
Yes, so let's hear Paul Bearer's response.
Why? Because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired
That's a great voice.
of The Undertaker for the last 6 years all around the world, leading him to the World Wrestling Federation titles and everything else.
Let these morons show some respect.
I'm tired, Jim Ross. And now...
Oh.
Oh, there go the lights again.
You should feel the presence of The Undertaker. The essence of The Undertaker is right here in Wheeling, West Virginia. It's not The Undertaker. It's Mankind.
That's right, it's Mankind.
Mankind has the feeling now. Mankind has the power now. That is the spirit you feel. Mankind also has the mandible claw that WWF champion Shawn Michaels has felt.
show it to
Shawn
Ross.
Michaels has felt it on one occasion. But on September the 22nd,
Watch
with
this,
the
watch
WWF
this.
title on the line, you have a chance, Mankind. That's where the word
Oh.
gold
This was this is going to be a phenomenal match.
on the champion.
I remember it.
Shawn Michaels and Mankind?
Yep.
Yeah, it was just a random match they threw together, but this was fantastic.
From the Boiler Room Brawl. And I love it. But you remember this, and remember it real good. Since my birth in the WWF, winning has never been my priority.
The lights. What is the
It was
deal here?
simply a way to create more misery my opponents. But now Paul Bearer has shown me
Look, he looks
that by
great.
defeating Shawn Michaels in your house for the
Yeah, it's great.
WWF title,
Oh my god.
not only will I make Shawn Michaels the least sexy boy toy in the world, in one night, I will have the chance to destroy the lives of the millions of the clique all around the
Oh,
world.
that'll be great. Could you imagine Mankind with the
That's Jim
WWF
Ross.
title?
Makes me happy. You see, it's a very simple 1-2 plan. One, I put Shawn Michaels' shoulders on the mat for a count of 3. And then number 2, I put his shoulders on a hospital bed for eternity. You know what this is all about. He's here. He's here. The Undertaker's not gone.
No,
You can feel the presence of The Undertaker. We can all feel the presence of The Undertaker, and so can you. That is not The Undertaker. That is not my Undertaker. That is not your Undertaker. It's my Mankind you feel.
That's right.
It's not The Undertaker.
Nobody's
The
seen
Undertaker's gone.
Nobody's seen
The
Undertaker since he was carried out
Undertaker's
of the ring.
passed away.
Oh, great.
yes, he has.
He's passed away.
I can't see a thing. What? Get some lights on here. No. Oh my. Where is he? Is he here? A cold wind is just blowing.
The Paul Bearer said, "Turn on the light."
To me. Jim Ross needs to get out of there. I need to get out of here.
I'm scared of the dark.
Oh no. What is that? Is that?
If this was happening, I'd be scared shitless too.
Oh my God. It's the Undertaker. That's the way he was left. That's
He's come out to WrestleManias with this music, right? As an entrance.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's dried up and darkness.
This music is pretty damn spooky.
Mind games. Can Shawn Michaels see? The Undertaker tried to play mind games, and now he's history. Just like the WWF.
It's weird that
My plan, Jim Ross. What? This is just a body. He has passed away. He is not here. This is
just a body.
decaying corpse. Formerly the so-called phenom of the World Wrestling Federation, The Undertaker. But you know, Jim Ross, he will never rest in peace. Look at all the vermin, all the maggots, all the worms are digging at his body right now, eating his flesh. Yes, but you know, the worms and the maggots, they're probably spitting his flesh right back out because The Undertaker is nothing. He was never nothing without Paul Bearer. He'll never be nothing again. And now, look, we're going to bow our head in a little silence, because here is the corpse of The Undertaker. This is like some kind of ceremony they're going to have. The Undertaker's finally taking the big turkey. He's ready for it.
I don't even know what to say to this.
Now time for the wake. Would everyone please bow your head? The Undertaker is gone. Gone forever. Yes, he is. Oh, yes. Oh, no, he's not.
This is so stupid, but I'm sorry. Look at this boy.
He's on his feet. Mankind did not finish The Undertaker.
And then Paul Bearer and Mankind run out from the other side, tripped out, powdered out. There you go. That's it, Vlad. The Undertaker has returned from the dead. All right.
He's not alive.
Let's hear your review of this segment, Vlad. You go first.
He's rotting. They're eating his flesh.
Well, what did you think? This is entertaining, but I could see people choosing WCW over this, though.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think with The Undertaker it's a little tricky because some of the stuff people do like even this hocus pocus stuff that he's been known for, that he can like rise from the dead and all this stuff. So it's a little tricky. But yeah, I don't remember really being a huge fan of that element of it, even as a kid. I don't remember being like, oh yeah, this is awesome, you know? I mean, I love the character, but like, you know, having powers that, you know, and stuff like that, even as a kid, I kind of always thought like, oh, well, this is kind of bullshit.
How about the fact that Paul Bearer thought he was dead, you know?
Yeah, well, that made no sense at all. Why would you think he was dead? I don't.
Because they put the mandible claw on him and beat his ass, so
that
thought he was dead.
And the druids came to take him.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is a little. I don't know, Rob. I don't want to say AEW, but it's not quite like really amazing storytelling. But Robert, let's hear some thoughts from you. I don't know what to say about it either.
I gotta keep things in perspective here. Like seeing this now, it's dumb. But at the time that it came out, or I don't know how old I was at this time, but I was digging stuff like this. Like this was. For me, this was cool at that time. I enjoyed it, but
I enjoyed it watching it last night. I thought it was so cool, you know.
Yeah, I really enjoyed stuff like this back then. But you know, again, a lot of time has passed. Looking back on it now, rewatching this is it's kind of dumb. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know what else to say.
Vlad, Barry Windham. You know Barry Windham?
Yes, I know Barry Windham quite well.
You don't like him?
No, I have no opinion. I didn't watch him in his heyday, so I have no opinion. I don't.
Is he's related to Bray Wyatt? How is he his uncle or something?
Yeah, I want to say that sounds right. He's probably his uncle.
All right, so here's a video package teasing the imminent arrival of Barry Windham in WWF.
Yeah, but didn't they put him in some weird like gimmick, like he's the Nightcrawler or some stalker?
Yeah, good memory, Vlad. Yeah, the stalker. Here it is.
Terrible.
Don't ever believe your eyes. Because what you see may not be exactly what you think you see. The stalker is on his way to the WWF to pursue the most evasive game known, the superstars of the World Wrestling Federation. The pursuit will not be trivial. It will be deadly.
Bad gimmick, Vlad. A bad WWF gimmick. Someone who was a top guy in the territories and stuff. And
you took the words right out of my mouth. You took everything I was just about to say. This was a top guy in the territory days in the other company in NWA. Probably a few years. Probably in WCW was probably at least a top, around the top, in that company as well. So the stalker is a horrific gimmick for anybody really. It's like he's dead on arrival, you know. Yeah.
All right, so let's see. I got this. It's not a 4-way match. It's a 4-man battle royal. So this is to make up for Ahmed Johnson not being able to compete. So this is going to find the replacement for Ahmed Johnson. So it's literally just 4 guys going in the ring, and they're going to start the match, and it's a battle royal. 4 guys. Yeah. It's Goldust, Savio Vega, Stone Cold. All right, here's our first appearance of Stone Cold. So I don't even know what his music is. Let's hear what his music is.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is really fired up for this one. The winner of this final.
Sounds like his Ringmaster music.
I think it's still his Ringmaster music, which is a shame. But I guess he was still in that.
For sudden death battle royal, we'll meet the WWF champion.
Called some fan a son of a bitch.
He was a heel here. That's why he was a heel.
I understand Stone Cold Steve Austin has some important comments to make. He's stepping into the ring and he's ready to go. He wants the shot at the title.
Well, it ain't going to be like last time. I don't think death should be sudden, but tonight it will be, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
You got to think
that's it. That was Stone Cold's promo. What did you think, Vlad?
Well, there's not much really great. Obviously, you didn't say a whole lot, but I think it was like a quick TV promo type of deal that they were.
He said, I don't think death should be sudden, but tonight it will be. I don't know. I don't think this was a good promo at all. Plus, the way he said, that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Like, he's just a normal guy saying it. You know what I mean? It didn't sound like Stone Cold.
Well, he hadn't perfected the character as of yet. Right. I mean, we're still a long way off from him. Well, we're not that long way off, but we're kind of a long way off for him really becoming the guy.
Well, the next WrestleMania is where he fights Bret Hart.
Right. I mean, in a sense, it's another year. No, maybe even more. Yeah.
No, half a year.
I know. But really, he's not really a top guy even then. But by '98, so like in less than 2 years, he's going to be pretty much on top of the world. So it's amazing. Right. It's interesting to watch this development because here he's a mid-card guy. He's still developing the Stone Cold character because he was just in the Ringmaster stuff probably just like last month. Well, I don't remember the exact date that they dropped the Ringmaster nonsense, but
what about that? What about that catchphrase, Robert? That's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Like that's the only thing that matters. The explanation doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that Stone Cold said it.
I mean, compared to other lines from other people's promos, it's not so bad. I don't think it's just he's just not he just not that popular yet at this point. When he does become much bigger, then that becomes a much bigger catchphrase. So it just doesn't mean much right now.
As much, it doesn't mean as much. Yeah, that's true.
All right, and then who else is there? Do I have?
We got Sid.
All right. Yeah, Psycho Sid. I don't know why I don't have a bookmark for him, but yes,
Nah,
here's Sid.
Meet the champion. And Psycho Sid.
I've always liked
Tell
Sid.
you what, he's ready to go. These are the 4 men, the last 4 men.
You consider Sid a top guy
To the Raw
in wrestling history, Vlad?
Johnson. Opportunity to face the WWE.
I mean,
As a character, I think yes. I don't know about as a worker.
definitely not as a worker.
No, not as a worker.
But he definitely has a great look.
Goldust wasting
There's
All right,
no
so
denying that.
interesting start to the match. I won't put the whole thing, but every man for himself, but they all go after Sid.
There can only be one.
3 guys.
The other man will be
They know he's the biggest guy, so they're trying to get him out real quick at the beginning.
Oh, they got Sid out.
And see, they got him.
Triple team Sid, and he's
Oh, they got him out. Wow.
They got him out immediately. They triple teamed his ass. And then he comes in and choke slams everyone because he's pissed off.
against choke slam. How about one for you, Goldust? Oh my! Psycho Sid is choke slamming anything that moves, but he's been eliminated, hasn't he? He certainly has. He is out of the Final 4 Battle Royal. 3 men remain, but what kind of condition are they in? Well, I'll tell you something. Psycho Sid tore the roof down, just like he's torn these
So
superstars.
the WrestleMania match of this year, Robert, WrestleMania 12.
Wrestling Federation.
The WrestleMania where Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart did the Iron Man match.
Uh-huh.
Stone Cold's feud was with Savio Vega. So I guess he's had several matches with Savio Vega this year, so they're also in this. I'm interested in that feud. I'm actually willing to go back and maybe check that out.
They had some good
that
matches. There were a couple really good, especially the strap match that they had was one of my favorites.
Oh wow, Vlad's like an expert on this generation. Okay, that's cool.
That's why he's the wrestling expert.
This is what I grew up. This is what I grew up on, guys. What can I say?
Yes. All right. So I'm gonna skip a little bit forward. I guess we can jump to Stone Cold's elimination. I won't put the whole match, but the next elimination is Stone Cold Steve Austin. So he's not gonna win this match.
Shawn Michaels has so much on his mind, and I know after that very physical confrontation he had with Vader, there goes Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, that was good.
Wait a second.
Man, he hung on nicely.
No, I don't think his feet hit. Did they? Slingshot up, and there he goes.
There he goes.
Hogan has eliminated Stone Cold
He didn't hang on there.
No.
Yeah, but he was a good worker though. Stone Cold is an excellent worker at this point. You could tell, even that. Oh, he attacks Savio Vega after the match. I guess that that probably has to do with some of their hatred from earlier in the year bleeding over. But long story short, I think Goldust wins this match. So I'll show the final elimination. So I guess Goldust is in line for a WWF title shot at some point after this. I don't know when exactly. That was a great move by Savio Vega. I'm very impressed with his big belly, his athleticism.
Yeah, I mean he's a little chubby, but he's not like that chubby.
Yeah.
He's just like
Savio Vega, who had a good cameo last year at Backlash. I don't know if you guys remember that.
oh yeah, because I was in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So here's Marlena and Goldust. So, all right. So they showed a replay of Stone Cold versus Yokozuna, but I'm gonna skip over that because it's just a replay. But later in the night, I think we get one last Jim Cornette promo, Vlad, before the main event. Because Jim Cornette is once again aligned with Yokozuna, so he's going to talk up Yokozuna here.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing wrong about breath, but I'll tell you this, Shawn Michaels, your goose is cooked and served tonight because I got Owen here, I got Bulldog here, I got Vader here, but I ain't gonna need him because I've got a 650-pound man, Yokozuna, back in the fold where he belongs, and tonight he's gonna be meaner and badder and rougher and tougher than ever before, and Shawn Michaels, you're gonna bear the brunt of it.
No, no.
Music now.
That is a pretty cool theme.
Well, yeah, Yokozuna's theme. He's a member of the bloodline. But anyways, let me just before we move on from Jim Cornette, Vlad, I guess I'll get a comment from you on Jim Cornette here, who is a big part of the show. In this,
He was a big part of this show. That's correct.
And a show that is on the losing end of the Monday Night Wars. But I don't know if you can really blame him. But he was very much what you would call old guard, right? Like when there's the new generation is coming up, NWO is super cool, they're rebellious, and then here's this guy from the nerdy guy from the 80s, who's, I don't know if you would say he's holding this show back in a way, even though he's really great. Like, obviously he's cutting promos, he's spot on, he's really funny, but it's just maybe not what they need at this time to compete with WCW. I don't know if you got any comments on that.
I think there's something to be said about that, I guess. I think he could be used in any era, to be honest, as a heel manager, but I probably wouldn't make him as goofy as he appears here, specifically in this episode, where he's, it's kind of comedic, some of the stuff he says and does, more than really heelish. But he is a heel manager, and I think he could be used that way. But yeah, later, I think as the time goes on, they kind of do get. Well, I mean, obviously they use him more in a creative role than a TV role. So maybe there's something to that. Like, they didn't feel a need for him to be a heel manager anymore as they were starting to compete with the WCW at that time. So, it's a valid point, but I think if creatively I could have come up with a way to use them in any era. I think if I was booking or if I was on a creative team. But that's just
all right, cool. All right, no, that's a good opinion. All right, hey Robert, do you listen to the Jim Cornette podcast? I know he's a big AEW hater. I think you could call him. That he's a big critic.
I don't really listen to anybody's podcasts. Not really, except ours.
Not at all. You've never ever come across a Cornette clip on the internet?
No, I've come across Cornette clips just because it's recommended on my feed, but I don't actively search for his podcast. Like,
sure.
Oh, let me look up Jim Cornette's the next Jim Cornette podcast show. And
do you have any thoughts on Jim Cornette in general? Since this is the first time we've done a classic review of something that he's involved in. Do you have any thoughts on him? Like, just, from what you've seen or what you've heard?
He's okay. I do find him entertaining. I'll say that much. I don't necessarily agree with. There's some things he said that I've agreed with. I can't remember off the top of my head.
How about as a wrestling character?
He's great. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Robert's a fan. All right, so let's move on with the rest of the show. We're almost done. The last match of the night, Vlad, is Yokozuna against Shawn Michaels. So, and Jim Cornette's coming out with Yokozuna. So the other side, Nitro's main event was the Giant against Macho Man, and this was Yokozuna against Shawn Michaels. So they're trying to compete. You know what I mean? They're putting something up. It's a non-title match though, but still. That's a pretty solid matchup. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it really wasn't at this point, I have to be honest, because Yoko wasn't the same Yoko from like 94 and maybe even early 95. He had really gotten too huge at this point, and he really wasn't.
Bro, he can move though. I wasn't gonna play it, but let me play the beginning of the match.
No, he can still move, but not. He wasn't a top guy at this point.
Look at this, Robert. I mean, for a guy this big, bro, the way he moves so nimble. Like usually guys this.
Oh, he moves amazingly.
His agility for his size is ridiculous.
Yeah, he looks smooth. Like he's not clunky like most big guys.
Even here.
700 pounds. We know he weighs over 600.
No, absolutely.
Anyway, so there's 3.5 minutes left on the show as the match gets started. So I still don't want to play the whole thing. I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Do you know who Jose Lothario is, Vlad? Because
yes, of course I do.
This is a name that keeps coming up that I don't really understand what's going on because he seems to be in Shawn Michaels' corner.
Yeah. Well, the story goes he trained in Texas. And Jose Lothario is a famous wrestler from like the 50s and 60s. Mostly in the Texas territory. But anyways, and he trained Shawn Michaels in San Antonio, and that's where Shawn Michaels is from, to be a professional wrestler. And that's really... And then during the Bret Hart feud match, like he was really with him the whole time during that. But I think soon he kind of disappears. I don't think I don't think he's there for too much longer after this. Like maybe the next couple months he should not be there. As far as I remember, they kind of cut the cord on that.
Well, that's a good explanation for me then, because it makes what happens here coming up make a lot more sense to me. So, let's see, Jim Cornette. I'm waiting for Cornette to come out. So, there he is. Excuse me.
Did you see that? A cheap shot by Cornette.
A cheap shot. He came out smiling with the sole intention of kicking Jose Lothario's ass. So Shawn Michaels chases him off, and Cornette got some shots in on Lothario. But the match is going to continue, and Shawn Michaels is going to win the match, and that's the end of our show. So I guess I'll just let the show run out on silent while I get some closing comments from you guys on what are your overall thoughts. We've been watching WCW, Robert, so you've had a sense of what WCW was like in this exact generation. Like we said, we reviewed the exact Monday Nitro that aired up against this. The link is in the description below. But Robert, so since you've had a sense of WCW from this time and WWF at this time, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so at that time, I was actively watching WWE. I only watched WCW off and on, so I wasn't overly familiar with all the angles. But based on our last, reviews for WCW for like this period, the angles were definitely more interesting for WCW as compared to WWF. So I can definitely see why they were winning the Monday Night Wars. I mean, this was still a decent episode of Raw. I can't really hate on it too much, but Nitro is better.
All right, Vlad, it's up to you to close out the show then. Final thoughts for the night. This is our first classic review that we've done in a while. I think it was cool. I think it was fun. I like to see your reactions on some of the things that happened on this show. But there was a super kick, so Shawn Michaels wins this non-title match to end the show. But Vlad, the wrestling expert, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I mean, I basically agree with Robert on this one. This was a solid show. Some cool things happened. Some fun interviews and promos with the Paul Bear stuff, Jim Cornette, as a character, and all that happened there. But overall, they weren't where they needed to be to compete with WCW yet. I still think they were figuring out how they were going to go about fighting this NWO thing that was happening, because they still were kind of stuck in certain tropes where they were like, it was still cheesy and not realistic and all that stuff. They still hadn't gotten where they needed to go. That's what I feel, at least. They will, but it's going to take, I guess it's going to take some more time. When exactly it happens, I guess we could find out together, because I don't remember the specific show where I'm like, yes, now they're ready to go. Now let's do this. Now the two shows are truly at war. Maybe when they go 2 hours. Maybe when they change it to 2 hours, which I don't know when that happens either. It could be coming up. But yeah, right. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. WCW obviously was a far superior product at this point. It's not even a question.
All right. Cool. So what did you guys think? Did you guys enjoy watching this watch along today, or was it? I mean, Vlad, you might have seen this episode before, so I don't know if it was like.
Yeah, at some point I saw this, I'm sure. I absolutely don't remember anything from it, but I'm sure I saw this at some point.
All right, but it was interesting to you.
Yes, it was interesting. More
interesting than talking modern wrestling.
Yes. Actually, this 1 hour Raw I would rather talk about from 90 96 than most. Well, definitely more than AEW. That's for sure. But WWE has some moments where I'd rather discuss that. But yeah.
What do you think overall is better, 2024 WWE or 1996 WWF?
96 WWF. I think it's no question. For me, it's no question. Anytime, I'd rather watch this. I'd rather watch Shawn Michaels and Undertaker and whatever they're doing than whatever the hell's going on in AEW.
All right. Well, cool. That'll conclude our show.
Well, hold on. Well, what about Robert? I'm curious for Robert's opinion on that. What does he say? I mean, obviously.
Oh, 2004 or 1996 WWF? All right. Yes, same question, bro.
I don't know. 2024, I thought was a good year for WWE.
Hell yeah! I mean, The Rock was cursing up a storm.
I'm talking about AEW, specifically AEW.
Oh, not AEW.
I thought it was a WWE.
Oh,
2024.
No, I thought we were talking about specifically about AEW.
No.
We're talking. The question, Vlad, was WWE 2024 or WWE 1996.
Oh no, then I would have taken WWE 2024. My bad. I misheard it.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you would take WWE from 2024? You think that's better than this? Yeah,
I think it is better than this.
I'll take 98, 99 WWF.
Oh yeah.
That's when it was like incredible.
Yes, absolutely. I got you. But yeah, 2024 probably was better than 96. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought I heard AEW, but maybe I have AEW in the brain. Who knows?
Oh, AEW versus 96 WWF. I would definitely take 96 WWF for sure. The 24 WWF and 96 WWF, that's a more interesting question. I still might take 96, but at least there was no 3-hour fucking shows back then, man. Like fucking hell.
Yeah.
1 hour was nice.
This was 1 hour. I mean, I think they go to 2 hours soon. I don't know when, but yeah. Nice, definitely nice. It was a quick show, but it was actually quite enjoyable. They got a lot done in that 1 hour. That's for sure.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep you guys all night. It's 11:15 at night. I gotta.
Well, hold on. I'm not gonna let you off the hook like that. Well, I gotta mention, there is a belated birthday I have to bring up.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Somebody had a birthday. Yes. That's true.
Yeah.
So
it was my birthday.
To those watching or listening to this podcast, it was Kahan's birthday a few days ago. So happy belated birthday!
Thank you, man. That was the day that the fires exploded all over Los Angeles on my birthday. So that was very good luck for the world. But that was also the day that you went to New Year's Evil the night before. And there were fires all around town that just started that very night, right? So that was
that night. Exactly.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, very strange week for us. I did have a birthday that day, but it seemed very kind of sad because LA was struggling, and we couldn't even really go out for the last few days. The air's been really fucked up.
Yeah.
But thank you, Robert. Thank you for the well wishes. I appreciate it. But it doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is that I have you guys here on this show. Telling you, or else I'd be talking to myself.
And we've seen that. It's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, well, all these podcasters do it, but hey, this is also very exciting territory for us to be trying to jump back into watching retro wrestling. I mean, it's very tough. I don't know if you've seen other podcasts try to talk retro wrestling. It's not an easy thing to broach. There's a lot of it. It's hard to kind of organize it and figure out how we're going to do this. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of time. But I think that was okay. I'll try to...
Yeah.
All right. Good episode, guys. Good episode. Thank you very much for your hard work. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to edit this out and put it out by morning. Everyone out there, make sure you like and subscribe. Go to our YouTube posts. So for more detailed reviews of all the storylines from every show, we'll at least give you a thumbs up, thumbs down for anything that we didn't cover on this show. So go there. There's a lot of interesting stuff too. And, check out our past 1996 WCW playlist. I'll put that in the description below as well in case anyone's interested to see what was the counterpart to this WWF show that we watched. So, all right. Thank you, guys. Good night. We'll see you guys next time. For Robert, the Frozen Asian, Vlad, the wrestling expert, I'm the Malapert Smark. We're going to talk more wrestling, but for tonight, we got to go to sleep. That's it. I'm tired. All right, guys, that's the end of the show. Good night.